right initially, and then they switched it to the left with real purpose.
Well, it's straight off the training ground, isn't it? And it's lovely when it works. The smiles all around these Japanese backs in particular. Lovely move. Little stop inside here from the winger, but good hands right the way through the back line. Drew in the Samoan defence, drew in Sorialu, the last man, the fullback for Samoa, and it was a comfortable run in for Uzuzuki. But it's a lovely pass right throughout the back line. Just take early and give. Just timing of the pass. Goes in untouched, which is rare these days. And Samoa will be jilted a little bit about how easily Japan got on the outside of them. Well finished by Japan. The extra two wouldn't go amiss either to cut this deficit.
Yes, they were beaten easily, weren't they? They didn't come close to laying a hand on any Japanese player during that move, and that will be a cause for concern. It's on its way from the boot of Webb, and they like it, and they've reason to like it. And they're right back in this match. Japan 18 now, Samoa 24.
Well, it's certainly got the home crowd buzzing, hasn't it? That 7-pointer. Now, can they get the restart right? Teams always at the most vulnerable, I think, just after they've scored. But it wasn't a good kick from Samoa, and Japan get the ball back easily. Oh, what a shocking pass from Tanaka. They've got to get this one clear. Well, clearish they have done. Tuolangi won't kick it, I suspect. He'll have a go.
Here goes Tuifua. Picked up by Soyalu, standing in at scrum half, taken on by Tusi Pisi. And alongside his brother today, the Northampton-bound George Pisi in midfield. He'll join up with the Saints in England after the World Cup. That was a pass that had interception written all over it, but fortunately for the Islanders, it found its way through to Tuolangi. Brace of tries early on set the tone for this match. Pisi high into the Tokyo sky. Taken just outside his 22 by Yuta Imamura. And now they're running the ball with some purpose again. The bouncing ball taken by the try scorer Usuzuki. He's got some skates on, chases his own kick. He's got Imamura with him as well. And in the end, Steve Sorialu did very well to make a nuisance of himself. He's claiming that he was impeded. In the circumstances, to have got away without conceding a try was a fair effort from the fullback.
It most certainly was. You just wonder if Uzuzuki, the try scorer from a minute ago, had just really pinged his ears back, whether that would have actually been better for them. Something's happened off the ball here. Samoan number 7, the try scorer late in the first half, Salavea. Looks like, actually, beg your pardon, looks like a straight replacement job. Samoa bundled into touch. Japan line out. Pressure on Samoa. This is the breakdown. When it comes out, it's a bit of a stray pass, but Uzuzuki gets it. He's not really going for it, is he? And then he goes. Good little chip ahead. 2v1. And as you say, Solialu does really well. He thinks he's been clobbered without the ball. 50-50, I would suggest. Now, can Aoki get this line out right and get the timing right of the falls as well? It is indeed Salavea who's gone off.
And replaced by the Harlequin, Mauri Fa'asavalu. Big moment for Samoan rugby. Fa'asavalu back in the fold for the first time since the 2003 World Cup. He had his time with Rugby League, but he's made the switch back, and now he is a Samoan Rugby Union player again. Made a very, very good impact at the Stoop over the latter part of the season in the English Aviva Premiership. See how he gets on back on the test stage. Half an hour to go in Tokyo. Samoa with a 9-point gap, having outscored Japan so far by 3 tries to 2. Justin Ives is on as well for the Japanese in the second row. confidence-boosting win against Samoa in Apia 12 months ago in this tournament. Also beat Tonga. Samoa, though, recovered to beat Tonga and Fiji to snatch the Pacific Nations title. Japan finished third. So we have a look at Timoteo Iasua. Both sides beginning to ring the changes after 50 minutes. It's a Samoan line-out to be taken by T. Paulo, played for Claremont and the Crusaders. Interesting to see that last year's winning skipper Mohonri Schwolger isn't even in the squad this time.
He was highly respected too, wasn't he? Very highly respected, the Schwolger, the captain and hooker. Samoa just got pinned in their 22, haven't they? Last 3 or 4 minutes, and this is what you want. They're making, we said again, it's at half-time about making Samoa work much harder to get the ball, get out of dangerous positions, and Japan have been down here for 2-3 minutes now. It's there, put into the scrum. The crowd, you can see, are really encouraging the home team, and they want a good, solid scrum now and know exactly what they're doing. Back should be confident after a wonderful try a couple of minutes ago and should have no qualms about putting it through the hands. Just need the solid scrum and good ball. Oh, penalty against Samoa for collapsing.
Well, the referee, Keith Brown, decides to step in as Japan tried to take it quickly.
Captain decision time now. Bit of hesitation. Look, there's a committee meeting going on. Captain, you've got to take over. You've got to take control. Kutani's the captain, the blindside flanker. Eventually makes a decision of kicking the touch. You don't want to show the opposition you're undecided, do you? You want to be ruthless and know exactly what you're doing, exactly what our plan is when we get a penalty 5 meters out.
Nishihara fumbled the line out.
Huge.
They know.
It was catchable. Aoki looking for the big open side. Nishihara. And that is just concentration, a bit of slippery hands. Be disappointed with that.
Debut for the 23-year-old. Still getting used to the pace and the pressure, doubtless, of Test match rugby. He's been to it now. 10 minutes plus into the second half, but mistakes continuing to frustrate both sides. Japan had a gentle warm-up for this Pacific Nations Cup last weekend. They beat an invitational team 49-7 here in Tokyo. Match to raise funds for the earthquake victims that so struck this country a couple of months ago, then all the associated problems that came with the tsunami and the nuclear power plant. It's been a real battle against adversity for the country as a whole over the last few months, with sport and rugby in particular, as it becomes more and more popular on this side of the world, providing a very handy outlet for all the sadness and frustration that's been elsewhere. Everyone here looking forward to the World Cup.
Big scrum this. Can Japan disrupt the Samoan ball in any shape or form? Eyes tend to go on the referee, don't they? These situations, the scrum, if it gets restarted a couple of times, what's he looking for? Certainly a few minutes ago he gave Japan a penalty for a Samoan collapse scrum.
Saktalafu, the Wasps' loose head on this near side. That one wasn't stable through nobody's fault, so we'll reset it. That's Yusuke Aoki. Samoan front row, Talafo, Paulo, the hooker, and Anthony Peronisi, tight head prop, who's leaving the Hurricanes to move to England after the World Cup. He's going to be part of the Bath Revolution and is set to make some impact on the Premiership. Big mobile prop. Good signing for the West Country side, you would have thought. But at the moment, a familiar problem. Front rows who aren't quite seeing eye to eye.
Well, it must be a good minute and a half now, coming up to 2 minutes, that this scrum has tried to take place. And Keith Brown, the referee, patience has got to be wearing thin, you would suggest, especially if it doesn't work this time. There we go. Look at the ball, referee. You've got to look at the ball after you give a penalty. Samoa deliberately making sure the ball is not available to Tanaka, the Japanese scrum half, to take a quick one. Referees and touch judges must look at the ball after they give a penalty in these areas of the field. Japan, somewhat surprisingly, having messed up the previous line out. We're back to 5 minutes ago, aren't we? From where the scrum was created initially, from Nishihara, the open side, as John Gowen looks on, somewhat frustrated. This time they catch it.
Taken by Helani. Try to score it in the first half as they go off in search of what would be a third. The Pack really have the bit between the teeth at the moment, and somewhat surprisingly, they're taking on the Samoans and winning. They're up to the line, just 2-3 meters short. Anthony Perenise at the heart of Samoa's defence, and it is they who win the ball back.
Big call, big call. I thought they were there. They had the momentum. Aoki, the hooker, was in control of the situation, but then Samoa managed to get in between them. Samoa must be worried about their scrum, though. The last couple of times they've been penalised by Keith Brown. It's not working for them at the moment. I have to say, both sides aren't famous for their scrummaging abilities, are they? But or indeed their catch and drive abilities from a line-out. But Japan, that time, it worked very well for them. But they've been down here for a good 5 minutes now. They haven't scored. And that's what they've got to do now. They've got to turn this pressure into points. Even 3 is fine. Plenty of time left on the clock. Just get 3 points. Keep Samoa looking at that scoreboard and keep Samoa looking at how much closer we are getting to them in terms of the scoreboard. Gone down again.
Taken off the back, though, by Tuifua, and he has really impressed off the base of the scrum this evening. Again, makes 15-20 meters for his team. Taken on by Dan Leo. And again, the mistake. Not taken by Farsavalu, but it was picked up by Tusipisi. And then, as we saw, Japan, in their eagerness to win the ball back, just diving straight back over the top. And it's the scrum half, Fumiaka Tanaka, who gets up rather ruefully.
Well, Tuifua is the man, as we just see the replay of this, as PC goes in and coming in from the side and right over the top. That's what the penalty was for. But Tuifua, the number 8 from Samoa, he's a good get-out-of-jail card, isn't he? When he gets off that base of the scrum, because he is so hard to put down. He gets across the gain line at least.
Samoa lifting Pacific Nations Cup last year on home soil after breaking the Maori Junior All Black domination of the tournament up to that point. This is the 6th year of the tournament. An awful lot for their confidence. Currently 11th in the world rankings. Japan are 13th. Do you know who are 12th off the top of your head?
I don't.
Italy.
Italy.
So they're in that kind of league. Fiji are 10th. Kind of heading the chase to break into the top, what, 6, 7 or 8.
Well, understandably here, the referee has given a water break. Such are the conditions in Tokyo this evening. There's something that we've seen in other competitions of the IRB, Junior Rugby World Cup, for instance. They have a water break every quarter, every 20 minutes, which is very understandable. Just give the players a chance to regroup. If you're sat up there, you haven't got time as a coach to go down and and offer words of wisdom.
Yuli Mai is on, which often means fireworks. Samoan Sevens playmaker, one of just 3 Samoan-based players in the squad. But Uli Mai is on to show what he can do in the 15-a-side game. Again, the set piece continues to be a real problem for the Samoans. Not very good in the scrum, losing the line-outs and allowing Japan to run the ball back at them. Picked up by the fullback James Sawyer.